and welcome to the show. It's me, John Park, and it's time for John Park's Workshop. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Here you all are over in Discord land. Look, there's the people in Discord. If you're wondering where the chat is, if you're over in Twitch perhaps, or Facebook, or watching on Periscope, and you're wondering, who's he talking to? Who are these people who are asking questions? How does that all work? Well, that's how it all works. Also, I've got a eyeball over on YouTube, so if you're over there, I may see that, but your best bet for chat is in our Discord, and you can get there by going to adafruit.it/Discord. You'll get an instant link, and you can join the conversation with such people as Susan, who just waved her little kitten paw in the chat there. And our good friend Steve. Okay, you're on. Hey, Steve, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Shenia, Trans Linux Fox Girl. I don't know how to pronounce your first name, so let us know. Hey, the cron job. All right. C. Grover says that the mic audio is peaking at -3 dB and no clipping. This is This is my second triumph of the day, the first being that we got bleeps and bloops heading out when I played the song. But I have done a major overhaul on my streaming system, and so you will hopefully, crossing fingers, have a very nice streaming experience today. I've got different audio interface running, I've updated operating systems, I've upgraded a newer version of the streaming software, a whole lot of cool stuff going on. And why don't we get to it? Let's get to the show, shall we? Let's see. First thing I want to do. Hey, first thing I actually want to do is see, can I clean up the chroma key that this thing is doing in real time? Because you'll notice I got my green screen hooked up there, and it's doing a little bit of a funny thing in the background. So give me a moment and see if I can tweak those settings a little. Let's see. That works. Yeah, that's better. I think that really drifted far from the color that it was originally set at. All right, I think that's going to work. And we'll check this one too. Yeah, that one's solid. Okay. So as you may guess from all that, I'm going to be doing some stuff related to the green screen today. Okay, that one's not perfect, but it's pretty far away from the light source, so I'll let it be. That's going to be my project that I work on a little later in the show, but first we have some other sort of housekeeping details to get to. So first one is to mention that AdaBox is coming soon to a mailbox near you. If you were a subscriber to this AdaBox, then you are going to want to head to your computer to watch next Wednesday evening. It's going to be a AdaBox unboxing takeover of the Ask an Engineer show. So normally that show is 8 p.m. and it's Lady Ada and Mr. Lady Ada. But I'm going to be doing an unboxing next Wednesday. So that is something that I'm involved with right now, is doing some filming. That's actually why I've got the green screen up. Filming for the non-live section of it. It's going to be followed by the live part of the unboxing, and we'll go over all the goodies in there and talk about how they're used and some projects you can do with them. If you didn't sign up for that one, I'll say it now, go ahead and sign up for AdaBox 19, which is going to be coming out later in the summer. It's going to be a great one. Aren't they all great? The AdaBoxes are really terrific. So, the cron job says they got theirs today. No spoilers. All right, yeah, they are. I know 18. Mr. Certainly, can you believe that? 18 AdaBoxes we've put out. That's 4 a year for 4+ years. Quite amazing, I think. Is my math right? Yeah. Let's see. So head over there. AdaBox is going to be played on YouTube. That's where you'll be able to watch it live, and then you can pick up the video later afterwards. So that's next Wednesday, the 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see, next up, we've got our jobs board. And if you head on over to jobs.adafruit.com, this is what you're going to see. This over here on the side, let me move that. That got, let's bring that back there. Oops. Shoot that over there. That's a little better. That's the AdaBox site. If you head to jobs.adafruit.com, you will see we've got a whole bunch of jobs that are posted by people in the community and companies looking to hire people, as well as people posting their own info if they're looking to be found. Here's a new-ish one, shop supervisor and lead technician at Micro in Brooklyn, New York. That's a full-time position. So if you're in Brooklyn or surrounding area and that looks interesting to you, go check it out. That's at jobs.adafruit.com. All right, let's see. Next up, the product pick of the week. So I have a show on Tuesdays at this same time, so 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern time. It looks something like this. It is JP's product pick of the week, and each week I pick a new product to check out. About 15 minutes of demoing it, talking about the product, looking at the specs on it, and then I do a little 1-minute recap. So here's that recap from this week. Check it out. It is the I2C Qt rotary encoder breakout with NeoPixel. You can plug this in over the STEMMA QT cable, add a rotary encoder to it, so this plugs right into here. But by adding this board, you get a really convenient way to add a rotary encoder to your project. So I've plugged this into 1, 2, 3, and 4 of our rotary encoder breakouts. And then you can see we're getting an update on the encoder values of 3 of them. That's just what fit in the code here over I2C. So these have up to 8 of them chainable on a single I2C port because they have different address jumpers on the bottom side of them. That's my product pick of the week. It is the I2C Qt rotary encoder STEMMA QT with NeoPixel breakout board. Wanted to mention, someone mentioned this in the chat. They got their AdaBox and they have not yet seen the tutorials online. That's because they are not yet up. We're waiting to publish them. I think they'll be published later today. So if you head to the Adafruit Learn system and check the AdaBox 18 Learn Guide, it should be up later today. Don't look at it if you don't want spoilers, because it'll tell you everything that's in there. All right, let's see. What's next? What have we got next? So, before I forget, I wanted to say that it really is, it takes a community, it takes a village to do the things that we do. And I wanted to thank one of our community members, C. Grover, in our chat, who helped me figure out some of these audio settings that are making this sound better, hopefully, today. And I appreciate that, because I did a little temporary live stream and went over about 4 or 5 different permutations of equipment plugged into other equipment to arrive at what we've got working today. So thank you so much, C. Grover. Really helpful to be able to do that, not in a vacuum, but with someone else listening on the other end. So I appreciate that. Stuart Riggs asks over in the YouTube chat, says, extra sharp video, what type of camera are you using? I should do a new sort of studio tour here sometime, maybe later in the summer, to give you an idea of what I'm working with. But the short version of it is I have an iMac Pro, which is what I'm using for this. All the broadcasting, all the video feeds and things are going into audio. This is the camera that's built into it that you're seeing right now. It's actually a really nice camera. It's pretty much the nicest one in a Mac that I've seen. My laptop, I have a very new laptop from last year. Terrible camera. It's a MacBook Pro, very expensive laptop, super great features, crummy camera in it. This one actually has a pretty nice camera. And then I use a couple of Micro Four Thirds mirrorless Sony Alpha series cameras for both my main cam, this one here, which is got a manual focus on it, so it's not going to focus on me right now. And same with that down shooter, that one. Those are both mirrorless Micro Four Thirds, and they are all going through some very nice conversion boxes. Video that takes HDMI, which is what the cameras put out, and converts that to USB 3. And part of the solution, part of what I've fixed recently to deal with some of the crashes that we had going back a couple of weeks, I think, one of the things that seems to have fixed stuff is I'm going through a really nice Thunderbolt dock now. that is, I think it's got a 20 volt DC 9 amp power supply. So I have a lot of stuff on the USB buses, and now it's handled neatly by that powered hub instead of plugging straight back into the machine. Oh yeah, Mr. Certainly says that the Mac M1 will be getting a boost on the webcam. So I figured when I got a new MacBook that didn't have a very good camera in it, they were holding off so that that would be a feature for them to tout on the next ones, which is a bummer, but what you gonna do? All right, so let's see the next thing. Oh, let's get ready for our next segment, and part of that is me finding some windows that I've buried here. Even though I got 3 monitors plugged in, it's still easy to lose some windows. So here we go. Get ready for this one. Yes, it's the CircuitPython Parsec. And for the CircuitPython Parsec today, I wanted to talk about reading an analog input on a CircuitPython device. So here I have an itsy bitsy M0, and plugged into it is an analog input. This is a soft potentiometer, but the things I'm doing would be the same if you were using a regular potentiometer, a force sense resistor, anything that is an analog input. And let's demo first what's going on. So you can see I have a plotter here. And, oh, that plotter is not updating? Hold on one second. Let's try, well, that's too bad. We don't get to see the plotter. How about that? So what you can see right now, I'll show the code in a second, but what you can see right now is I have a power and a ground pin connected to this soft pot, and then the center is the signal pin, which is actually acting as a voltage divider. So it sends out varying voltage as I touch this soft pot. And then I'm converting that into some PWM values for that big LED there. So you can see its brightness is changing as I touch the soft pot. If I stop touching it, it goes to its center value, and you can also just kind of tap it places, which is sort of neat. And if we take a look at the code here, I'll open up Atom. So what's going on when you want to use an analog input? We're importing, the most important things are board, so we get pin definitions for some of these analog pins, and the analog I/O. Then I'm setting up this soft pot object. It's a variable that is the analog I/O on board A5, which is where I have this plugged in. Then I'm setting up some LED stuff so that we can drive its brightness. And then in my true loop here, you can see I am reading that soft pot value and just giving that a nice, neat name. So analog value is whatever softpot.value is. And then I print that in my serial monitor, and I'm also then driving the LED duty cycle from that. And so that is how you can read the analog value of a potentiometer, a soft pot, or other analog device in CircuitPython on an analog to digital conversion pin. And that is your CircuitPython Parsec. Now, just for fun, I am going to try to get this plotter working. Let's see what causes that to not show up. That's weird, because the one I'm looking at is showing up. All right. Ah, I have 2 of them open, I think. Where is that one coming from? All right, let's try to fix this. 1 second, if you'll bear with me. Serial plotter, yeah. And how about, I'll go grab a new window. Let's add a screen capture. This is very dangerous. I'm gonna fiddle with this, but I can't help it. Okay. Let's go and grab a window. Arduino. There we go. That's a nice, big, huge serial monitor. make that a little smaller and set that down here. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I should have just used Move, but I decided to get fancy and use this plotter. It runs a little faster, I think. And now you can see it in action. I'll put this back here in the background. So here you can see as I adjust the position on this soft pot where I'm pressing down on its little resistive material, I am changing the analog output voltage that it's sending, which is being read by the analog input on the itsy bitsy. And then we get a nice smooth graph there, which you can see is correlated to the LED brightness. And you can bet I'm going to go ahead and edit that into the CircuitPython Parsec as if it all happened perfectly. That's the magic of editing the little recaps a little later. Magic of editing. All right. Let's see. Let me grab the Discord chat. Oh, there's a bear waving at us. What's this bear? Who's this bear? Hi, bear. I like that bear. All right. Let's see. So next thing I wanted to do is jump into the project that I'm working on this week, a little something that I cooked up. And let's see, I think the best way we can explore this is I'm going to show you this really cool gizmo here. So move some things out of the way. This is the Gamebuino Dazzler, and I'll show you this, get things arranged. I'll show you this in the overhead view. And you know what, since I'm not showing that bright LED anymore, I can fix this exposure. That's a little better. And if my cables will allow it, what you can see here is that we have a Feather M4 Express plugged into this carrier board, and then we have the GD3X Dazzler from Gamebuino, and this is sort of essentially a graphics chipset that you can communicate to from some other boards. There's an Arduino that'll work with it. There's this Feather M4, I think a Teensy that'll work with it, and the Pico, I believe, or maybe it's one of the Raspberry Pis. But in fact, let me show you this on our site. Let's jump into a Chrome window here for a second. So this is it, the Gamebuino. I called it Gamebuino. I think that's a different thing. There's a lot of names sort of like that. Sorry about that. So the Gamebuino 3X Dazzler for Feather M4 by X Camera Labs. Very cool demo here of some alpha channeled, transparent background bitmaps being transformed really nicely and smoothly. And this has an HDMI out on it, so you can run this into a TV or a monitor that has HDMI. In my case, I'm actually running it through a video capture card, and that's what this graphic that you're seeing behind me is right now, just this text. So I've modified the Hello World example, and I'll show you that and some other examples of this. If you check this out, there's some links to the documentation. Here is some setup and installation. There's a community bundle that you'll download, and then you can grab the driver or libraries that you need for the CircuitPython device. But this is really cool because it allows you to code in CircuitPython, and then all the really fast stuff for the graphics is happening over on the Dazzler board itself. And then there's some sample code from the examples in the bundle, and then there's the main documentation. And there's also a blog post. This contains the info as well as a download for doing that particular Blinka example, so I'm going to be checking that out later. Oops, let's jump back over to the main view here, and I'm going to throw my Atom view up. Let me make that a little smaller for a second. And let's grab Atom. Okay, so here is this main example, and I might have to do a little bit of a restart here to get this talking to that device, but I think it's the only device. Okay, yeah, so we saw it restart right there. And I'm going to make that a little smaller so you can see it, and I can see it. So I'm just going to change I'll just comment out a couple of these lines of code here. Whoops. I had a whole line picked when I did that. And if I just hit resave, it's going to save that code.py file to the device, and boom, you can see it very quickly updates. Now it's just saying Feather M4 at the top. And then I wanted to grab this demo here. This one's really cool. And then I'll head over to that main camera. And this is why I built this thing, because now that I have this very cool retro-reflective display for doing green screen or blue screen or any kind of chroma key that you want to do, then the question is, what are you putting behind it? So you can, if you're doing a pre-recorded thing and then editing later, I tend to edit in Premiere, or to do some more advanced compositing in something like Nuke or After Effects, you can put any background you want behind the sort of later. But in the case of real time, so here I am, I'm doing a real-time chroma key pull off of that screen, and I want something interesting behind me. You need some kind of a graphics generator, so more like an old school television station graphics generator. What are you putting behind you? You could do this with software on your computer, but your methods of feeding that into the broadcast software may vary. And if you're doing anything particularly graphics intensive, you start to have a bit of a conflict there between trying to run all of the broadcast software and also trying to run this graphics generator. So in this case, all of the graphics generation, all the hard stuff, is being done by the Dazzler, and it's being convinced of what to do by the Feather running CircuitPython. But then that's just running as HDMI into my computer. So I'm using, I'll show you in a second on the website, I'm using a little device that converts HDMI to USB 3. It's how I pretty much do all of the camera capture that I do on the show. And now I can set that camera input as a layer under other camera inputs. In fact, I might show you, it'll be a bit of a hall of mirrors, but I might show you what that looks like in the software in a second here. So if I head on over here and adjust this, I'm just going to make the graphics, you can see they're really nice and smooth. I'm just going to make one little adjustment that's going to speed them up. So if we head over here, and I can even put myself in the corner here. There you can see, that's the green screen. It's actually kind of looking a little teal in this color correction, but the camera is seeing it as a pure enough green to chroma key. So let's up this frame rate and hit save. And I've noticed sometimes I need to unplug and replug the HDMI cable. I think it's not the Gamebuino Dazzler's fault. I think it's my capture card. Needs to be convinced that there's a signal still. So if we head over here now, again, you can see we've got this spectacular game of quicks going on in the background. And it's doing a really nice job, integrating between a chroma key and that. This is kind of a stress test for your chroma key, because black is going to show off any artifacts. So you can see as I move my arms close to my body, sometimes you'll see a little bit of a green haloing there, or almost just like a white haloing. But otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty impressive key, and I got these great graphics back here. So couple of other demos, just because, to be honest, I haven't had any time to learn about coding this thing yet, other than these examples. And so I'm just going to show you some of the cool examples it came with, rather than try to do anything all that fancy myself. So here is, yeah, it's going to need a little jiggle of my USB port. Look at that one, huh? And as you can see, I've got that working on a few different of my camera views there, so I can be in my main view. I just didn't chroma key out this upper one here, but I can be in my main view, and I'm getting that that little display back there, which is pretty cool. And I should probably just have that running all the time, because that's not gonna drive you bonkers or anything, right? So let's see. To show you a little bit about how this is working behind the scenes, let me do a screen share of my main application window. How about what's a good one? We'll see what happens here. How about screen capture, new screen capture. And this can take it a second, but I'm gonna share the broadcast software itself. So it'll be a little bit of a hall of mirrors, but not the full screen, which happens sometimes. So give me a moment. It does the window I need here. So I'm going to do a share of a window, and that window is going to be this application itself. Sounds dangerous. Let's see. Will it even let me? I don't know if it'll let me. I've actually never tried that. No, well, okay, so I'll keep that as a screen, a full monitor share. It really doesn't want me to cause the havoc that I want to cause. Okay, so yeah, so now you're seeing the application. Let me see if I can crop in a little bit to make that a little easier to see. One moment. And so you'll see here, I'm going into the layer controls themselves, and I'm just making a bit of a crop of the windows that you're seeing. And then I'll scale this up. And I'll send that over there. Okay, so here you can see if you can see this well enough, I'm not sure how good a demo this is. If I take something like this view here, currently that is one camera input, this FaceTime HD camera, this sort of yellow bar you see off to the left. And let me move this over a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a camera source, and that camera source is a video capture USB camera video. But it's a little $30 gizmo. And so that is now the sort of full HDMI view of that camera. I'm going to shrink it down, and I'm going to layer it underneath me right here in the corner. I'll leave some of it visible. And then I'm going to take this view. Oh, actually, that's where I want to add it. This will work. This will work too. So what I'm going to do now is just add a chroma key on my little tiny view of me there and send that over. And now you can see we're poking through that view as well. So anywhere now that I have the green screen, we can do that. If I click my little green screen gizmo and turn it into a blue screen, it might start to fail. Oh no, weird. I don't know why that worked. That's mysterious. Save that for another day. It's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it? So I can get us out of that hall of mirrors now and back to here. And then this one, in this view that we're looking at, I've actually, again, just like scaled that view a little smaller so that it sort of all fits in there. We can even adjust that further. Let's go here. And I can make just a little baby HDMI display right there, kind of behind me and off to the side. So now, if I change that demo, let's go open up the Atom here, and I'm going to grab a different one. This one is pretty cool one. This one shows the temperature of the CPU, of the Feather, or the microcontroller. Again, I'm going to do a little wiggle of my HDMI port, so the capture device notices that it's there. And now you can see I've got this, go to the main cam, hide that there. Oh look, my, my lamp is in the way. Let's move that. And now you can see it's 33.8 degrees. If I hold, I have a little aluminum screwdriver, aluminum handle screwdriver. If I press that to the CPU, you should see it start to absorb some of that heat and drop. So this is a pretty cool demo on the Dazzler there that shows the real-time temperature. And that'll appear anywhere that we're showing it. So the devices that I mentioned here, let's bring Chrome back here. So this is this Gamebuino 3X Dazzler for Feather M4 by X Camera Labs. Super awesome. There are 6 of them in stock. Actually, let's refresh, make sure that's still true. 5 in stock. Someone got one. Good. That helps us keep running this show and all the Adafruit shows if you buy some cool stuff. So I'm excited to dive into this thing. I really have just scratched the surface. I just plugged it in for the first time today. So. And then the HDMI input here is this little gizmo. So this is a, this is to USB 2. Yeah, so it's working pretty well. It's converting the camera's HDMI out to USB 2, so not a super fast stream, but you can see it's plenty fast over there. In fact, there's a really kooky fast circles demo that if you thought the bubbles was wacky, then check out this one. So I'm running the Gamebuino Dazzler into that HDMI video capture device. And woo, look at that thing go. I should probably not do that to you, I'm sorry. But it's addictive. Then this is the device that I'm using to take that into the computer. So pretty much these are great for any device. If you have a game system that has HDMI out and you don't have a HDMI that you can use on your computer for whatever reason, you can go through USB 2.0 port for this one. It'll work just fine. So I think that does it. Let me go back to a nice calm demo, and I think this will be something I use in the future for some cool video backgrounds. So I'm glad to have this up and running and working now. It's a kind of nice, neat way to provide some background graphics when you're using something like a chroma key, or you can just use it for if you want to learn some graphics programming, some games programming. One of the cool things, in fact, about this little gizmo is the pair of Wii accessory plugs on it. So you could use something like a Wii nunchuck, or I'm guessing classic controller, guitar controllers. You could probably code pretty much any of those Wii accessory style controllers into those nunchuck ports. There's also a SD card on it. I imagine if you have some larger graphics that aren't going to fit on your microcontroller, you can place those on the SD card there. So that is going to do it for today. So thank you so much for stopping by. Like I mentioned before, if you want to check out the unboxing of AdaBox 18, then come on by on this coming Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will be doing a bit of a takeover of the usual Ask an Engineer with our AdaBox 18 unboxing. If you're a subscriber, join us. Grab your box, we'll open them up and take a look at the goodies inside. And if you're not a subscriber, like I've said, go and subscribe. You can go to adabox.com and get in on AdaBox 19, or subscribe someone else as a gift that keeps on giving. All right, I will check in with our friends over in Discord and see, do you have any thoughts, comments, questions, feelings? I know there have not been any Lars sightings today. If I'd had the time, I was going to involve Lars in this graphics generator. Maybe we'll do that as a little bonus next week. Let me pop open my Discord so I can see. Let's see. Xenia, you said how to pronounce it, and I didn't read that. Where was it? I think that was it. I'm scrolling back. Where did you say it? You said it up here. All right. Say it again, how about? Because I'm not going to scroll up that far and find it, apparently. Asked, I wonder if they have an RCA version. There are some, I believe, converter boxes that you could stack. So let's see. I think HDMI to RCA, that's not the direction you want to go, but check HDMI to RCA again. Yeah, I don't know if there's an RCA to HDMI, if that's what you're asking on Adafruit. There may be that you can just find one elsewhere and then go through this little converter. If that's the direction you're trying to go, if you're trying to get from the Dazzler to RCA, then there's probably a different converter for you. Stuart S. Riggs asks, what's the name of the cloth/chroma in the back? That's a retroreflective fabric, and it's called Scotch Light from 3M, but there are generic versions of it. And if you head to learn.adafruit.com and type in chroma key, here is a project I did that shows you how to build it, and it shows you where to source it. Easiest place is on eBay. You could do searches elsewhere, but you can see here's a retroreflective. Get a yard or two of this stuff. It's not that expensive. Here's $9 for a yard of 49-inch wide. I think that may be what I have up there right now. I didn't buy either of these. I was given this roll from a friend of mine who had done a similar project and had some extra. So I can't vouch for those sellers, but look around on eBay, I think, is the easiest place to get some. And some fabric stores may have it if you have sort of a garment district in your city with some larger fabric stores. This is used in clothing and accessories, so you can find that stuff a lot of places. Let's see, other questions. Xenia, thank you for clarifying that. Xenia says, I meant RCA to USB, like a RCA capture. Oh boy, I used to have one of those a long time ago. It was a sort of a capture card for PC. It went into a PC slot. It must exist. There are ways. So if anyone has any tips, I haven't done that in a while. I think the only remaining thing I have that does that is a mini DV camcorder that has a RCA in and I think a HDMI out. So you may find your way through by plugging the sort of chain of things together. Janiscu says, nice art in the background. Reminds me of those screensavers on Windows. Yeah, this if you're a graphics programmer, demo scene type of person, this thing would be great for you. It's neat, it's small, it's totally flat on the back, so you can screw that into something and just attach that to a projector or to a display. Really cool. I'd love to see some stuff people do with it. Does it do audio? It does. Yeah, it sends both video and audio over the HDMI. I don't have any examples, and I haven't tried it, but the docs say it does. JP's evil laugh is such a joy to hear. Did I do an evil laugh? I can't remember. Todd Bot asks, is this the thing that JP is using? Yes, it is, Todd. It's items 4969, the 3X Dazzler. Did you buy it? Who done it? Who went and bought one? That's what I want to know. All right. I think that's going to do it for today. Okay, thank you so much for playing with this fun stuff with me today. And I can't wait to see you all both next Tuesday for the next JP's product pick of the week and on Wednesday for the AdaBox. I'll bring that back up again. Come on by Wednesday for the AdaBox unboxing. Last thing I'm going to do is make that display back there super fast. Where did my code go? Let's speed that up a bit. And here we go. You ready? Got to find out what's up with my jiggling the HDMI thing. Meow. Off it goes. Bye, everyone.